Have you ever wondered what separates those 5% successful traders with all the rest? It all comes down to the psychology behind trading. Control your emotions, know your mindset. Hey there, Tom here from Fibonacci-Traders.com here with the daily market recap. Please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends. Let's see the charts. CPI numbers came out lower than expectation, but in the end of the day, it's all about how market reacts to those numbers. And as we can see, market tried, gapped up towards the 412 area and back down. Now we have a double top scenario on the SPY of the 411 area, breaking below the 405, going down towards this trend line over here. We can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high. 405 is the next support that needs to hold. Otherwise, we are going to retest this trend line over here. Failing to hold this trend line, this gap at the 397 will get filled. Know your price action, know your trend lines, and know Fibonacci. No other indicators are truly needed. QQQ. Back retesting the 313. As we can see, 313 is a very important level of support. Failing to hold, breaking to the downside, we have a gap over here at the 308 that will get filled, and then 307 needs to hold. Look left, 307 is the next level of support. If 313 will fail to hold, 307 is an important support area for the Qs. IWM tried to break above the 178 and got rejected. Back, closing this gap over here. If you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos, you know all these levels, you know all these lines, and you know this gap. We have talked about this gap, and we have talked about gaps in general. We know that more than 80% of all gaps will get filled, and here we are, another gap just got filled. Dow Jones tried to break up above the 337 together with this trend line, got rejected, went back inside. Now 336, 335 needs to hold the support. Just put a line over here and you will see why. Resistance, resistance, support. So the 335 area is a very important level of support now. Breaking to the downside, 333, and maybe going to make the same price action as it did over here. Maybe it's going to do the same one over here towards the 326. Always look left. Where price came from? What was the price action that laid price towards where it is today? VIX, basically moving sideways. Not much of a price action on the VIX. 20 to the upside, 1850, 1840 to the downside. Some kind of a box. Let's see where VIX is taking us. Bouncing towards to the upside. Volatility will be much higher. Bitcoin. Trend lines are the true support resistance for price action. As we can see, this trend line is holding as a tough resistance for price action. Now, second consecutive inside day on the Bitcoin. Still have time, but for now it's an inside day. Indecision in the market. Let's see where price of Bitcoin will lead us. Down towards retesting this trend line as support, or breaking up and above towards the 31,800, 31,900 is the next level of resistance. Ethereum managing to break up above and closing, we can adjust a little bit more, like this one. Or remove everything, go to the line chart, much more easy on the eyes. Now we have this line over here. And as we can see, this line is a tough resistance for the higher highs. Until proven otherwise, Ethereum is in an uptrend. Now we can adjust it a little bit like this. And now we can see that this trend line over here, holding at the higher highs, acting as resistance for price for Ethereum. If bulls will give up, we can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high. 1880 needs to hold. Otherwise, we do have here a double top scenario of the 1940, breaking below the 1880, going to the 1840, breaking this one here with high probability 1780 and maybe all the way back to the 1690. If bulls have enough power in their hands and enough stamina, and they will break above this trend line, 2000 and 2100s are the next resistance. MSTR, inside day, we have this gap over here. This gap will get filled. It's a matter of time. And look at the price action. Why it's very important to look at price action. Look left, where price came from and what it did in the past. We have a gap over here. Look left. The same gap at the same area, August 2022. This is why price action is very important, to look left and to understand what led price to do what it's doing this day. Mara, same thing. We have a gap to the downside. 956 is holding. We have a doji inside day. Indecision in the market. Let's see if this gap will get filled, and then we will get a bounce back towards the 1130, or can we get continuation to the upside? We have 1130 and 14 as next resistance. Riot almost touched the 1350, as we identified this 1350 yesterday or video before it as a very strong resistance for price action, because it was a very important level of support during February and March of 2022. Now a doji, we know that the doji is the most significant signal in price action for a trend reversal that might be heading. And it's an indecision candle. We had a very strong uptrend, doji, indecision. We might be heading for retracement. We have a gap over here at the 1066. So if you're long on Riot, pay attention, manage your risk, use levels. We can take it over here. Now we can clearly see all the supports to the downside. Net gas failing for continuation to the upside, back below the 227. Now with high probability 210 will get retested. If this one will fail to hold, bulls will give up, bears will come in full power, and the next will be 166 in my opinion, and it's only my opinion. Always do your own due diligence, as I always say, and I sound like a broken record, but it is what it is. Never follow blindly anyone on social media, paid or free services. Trust me, I know it, I've been there. Do your own due diligence. Follow to get ideas. Follow to learn strategies. It's okay. This is what social media is for. This is what all the courses out there are for. To learn, get education, build your own strategy, pave your own path, because in the end of the day, it's only up to you. If you want to take your trading journey to the next level, to the highest level, check the links in the description below. 2 programs. Choose one. One-on-one live mentorship program or the pre-recorded. Same program but pre-recorded. 6 hours, 49 lessons. 6 plus 49, 55. You guessed it. Fibonacci level, Fibonacci number, Fibonacci ratio. My promise to you, lifetime access, support, guidance, all Discord levels, and above it all, you will become your own indicator. You will stop following others. SMH. We have some kind of a head and shoulders pattern. Let's see if the 248 will hold. Otherwise, 237 together with this trend line over here will get retested. This trend line is going all the way back to October 2022 and held the higher lows. 248 needs to hold. Otherwise, we are going to retest 237 together with this red trend line. AAPL. Trend lines are the true support resistance area for price action. You know these trend lines because you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos. If you're not, this is the time. First, to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, share with friends. Help me grow this channel. Will be much appreciated. Thank you very much. And follow me on Twitter. Daily actionable ideas for day trade and swing trading. And these trend lines are now acting as support once again, not surprising. Failing to do so, 156.80 to the downside is the next major test that bulls needs to hold. Failing to hold, 140 to the downside, 149 is next. Amazon breaking below the trend line, holding the 97.74. Can bulls go back up and above this trend line and back inside this uptrend channel? Or failing to do so, we have all the Fibonacci levels to the downside for future support. Tesla. We had a gap. This gap got filled. Now 177 needs to hold. Otherwise, we have this trend line over here that connects low, higher low, but looking left, it was support, it was resistance, it was support, support, going all the way to here, July 10th, few days after Tesla's IPO, it was the support, and all the way to these days, breaking below this trend line. This trend line we just saw is a very important level of support and resistance. Breaking below this trend line and below the 165, this gap will get filled. AMD trend lines are the true support resistance for price action. As you can see, no other indicators, not even volume, because everything follows price. And trend lines, price action. Learn the relationship between them, and then you will become your own indicator. Failing to hold this one, we are going to the downside to retest this trend line over here. And Fibonacci helps us to identify support and resistance areas for future price action. No other indicator can give you future roadmap to the price action. Fibonacci levels and trend lines gives us future roadmap for price action. NVDA 265 area needs to hold. As we can see, since middle of March, it's holding, but let's see if it can continue holding. Otherwise, 256, 250, 243, and then if 243 will fail to hold, in my opinion, this gap will get filled. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? NVIDIA will fill this gap during 2023 or not? Curious to know your thoughts about gaps in general. What do you think about gaps? I think that they are magnets to price action. Microsoft 281 is holding strong. Bulls are defending this because they know once they will fail to defend the 282 area, we have a gap over here. 273. If 273 will fail to hold, we are going to retest this yellow trend line. Google 104 is holding. Bulls are defending this. Failing to hold, we're going back to the 101 area. But for now, Google is in an uptrend until proven otherwise. If you're not long on Google yet, I would wait for a bounce and uptrend continuation above 107. If you're already long on Google, this is the time to manage your risk much more tight. Meta, very nasty price action, as we can see. 3 consecutive dojis, 216 to the upside, 217 to the upside. Very tough resistance. If bulls will give up, we are going down towards the 206 area, 206.80. If 206.80, that was important level of resistance during March, then it became support, so now it needs to hold as support. Failing to hold, this gap will get filled, and we have another 2 big gaps to the downside line. Meta, we have this one here at the 183, and we have this one big black hole at the 153. Do you think this gap will get filled anytime soon or anytime in the future? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this gap over here? Netflix breaking to the downside, breaking the 335 that held as support, broke. Now 325 needs to hold, otherwise we are going to retest this trend line over here. This lower trend line held since June of 2022, since this uptrend began, it held the higher lows. 325 on Netflix is a very important level of support. Otherwise, we are going to retest this red trend line. Trend lines, price action, Fibonacci, that's it. This is all a trader truly needs for a roadmap for price action into the future. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, will be much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check the links in the description below for more educational resources. Until the next video, stay safe.